On the 26th of May, we woke up at 4:30, as per usual. To my surprise, we were immediately summoned at the airfield. The political commissar and the regiment commander were already there, waiting for us. The Politruk held a speech about the significance of the Soviet Air Force. I wasn't yet fully awake, so I'll spare you the details. When the political commissar finished, Kapitan Kublukov stood up and took his place. He had a severe look on his face, so I understood what the previous speech was for. He went through the usual information, like the weather and our orbit. He then announced a massive offensive on the Moldavskoye-Kievskoye axis. We were tasked with patrolling the area to allow our troops to progress without being disturbed by the Luftwaffe and to protect our numerous flights of attackers and bombers. At 6:30, we finally received the order to turn on our engines and we proceeded to take off. We immediately started climbing to reach 5,000 meters, as we were tasked with providing top cover for the other units operating in the area of Krymskaya. Over at the area of our offensive, we encountered enemy fighters even higher than us. We distracted them while our ground attackers were working on the targets below. The Germans pressed us into a lower altitude, where we got into a fight. I saw Starszy Sergeant Baranowski damage one of the enemies before we disengaged. I also caught a glimpse of one of our planes spiraling towards the ground. It turned out to be our squadron commander. Running low on fuel and having suffered such a loss, we turned back. We landed, refueled, and those who had fired their guns got their ammo replenished. We went back up as soon as the ground crews had finished. We conducted cap in the same area, but at a much lower altitude this time. We could see 618th Shap's IL-2s drop smoke on the German positions to allow our infantry to move in. Once again, the enemy was active. We drove off a lone FW-190, wandering on our side. Perhaps he was trying to drag us into a trap, but we didn't fall for the bait, seeing as he was much faster than we were. We stayed on our assigned airspace. Our IL-2s got attacked, and just like last time, we rushed in to help the Sturmwigs get rid of the messes. Baranowski and I saw a pair of them diving. We each went after one. This time, I was able to engage the enemy, but I don't think I hit. I let the enemy leave and focused on our IL-2s again. Baranowski, on the other hand, followed his target and shot it down. It was a dangerous move as he had no cover, but it paid off. We disengaged to the east, but we were followed. A 109 got behind me. I tried to evade his attack, but he hit me in the wing nevertheless. I followed him when he got in front of me, but he was much faster. I had to turn back, but if I did, he would probably also turn around and finish me off, so I thought my best bet was to fire a warning shot at him. I estimated lead and fired a quick burst. To my surprise, one of the rounds hit. and the enemy turned away towards his lines. Baranowski and I went onto the base. Because of the fuel leak on my right wing and the fact my tanks were already low, I judged it was safer for me to detach and land at Slavianskaya. As I approached the airfield, I saw my RPM reading tremble. I wasn't sure whether it was a lack of fuel or if something went wrong in the engine, but in any case, it wasn't a good sign. My engine was dying, but I still had some distance to go. I turned left to minimize my distance from the airfield and to avoid the city of Slavianskaya. I didn't want to have to bail, or worse, to attempt to land above the city. I closed my radiators to save a bit of fuel. It could be crucial. I declared an emergency so I could land first. I had to think quick. I could either turn to line up with the runway, but it might result in me stalling and crashing. Alternatively, I could stay on course, but I'd risk hitting a tent or a building on the way. I also risked flipping over on the muddy terrain around the airstrip. I chose to land on the runway. I figured I had just enough speed to make it. As I touched down, my only thought was to stop the plane, so I pressed the brakes with both my feet. The plane turned around and came to an abrupt stop, leaving a cloud of dust. I remained seated in the cockpit, trying to grasp what just happened. I had been lucky. Apart from having bumped my head, I was fine.